Hey, what is up, you guys? Wow, so we're finally at 300. That's crazy. So right before this, right, I was just finishing a video. I was just finishing one video that I was gonna upload today, and when I go into the page to upload it, I see that we're already at 300. I'm like, oh my god damn, already. I was thinking that it was gonna be tomorrow, because when I woke up today we were at like 193 or 194. So I was thinking like, oh yeah, probably tomorrow. So I was just finishing a video today, and when I get into the page to upload it, I'm like, oh my god, so I'm at 300 already. That's crazy. So I had to like set the camera back up real quick so I could record this, just because, as you guys know, the Karna video, it is pre-recorded. So I just had to add this on there just because I wanted you guys to see how happy I am about this 300 subs. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. The video is pretty damn long. It's about 40 minutes long, so I don't want to talk too much because it's both parts. It's both of Karna's parts. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Wow, 300 already. It was right on time too, because I said I wanted, well, one day late if you want to get technical. I did say I wanted to reach it before the end of the month. We're on May 1st, so one day late, but it is what it is. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And that's pretty much it. So with that being said, roll the intro.
I call forth unlimited blade works.
Hey, what is up, you guys? This is Silverfang, and today I'm back with another video. So this is the video that you guys been waiting to see. This is the video that you guys have been asking for. Karna Explained. Granted, this is a pre-recording, so my knowledge of Fate might not be as extended as you guys saw on my last video, just because I probably covered a few more servants, etc. But it is a pre-recording, but nonetheless it is Karna Explained. And man, Karna, man, this is like everybody's favorite servant from Apocrypha. It's insane. It's like, granted, I think he was the most powerful there, so it's kind of like the Gilgamesh of the group, you know. Like, this dude's power is incredible. It's unrivaled, and everybody knows he should have won the last fight with C. So this guy, man, what can I say? Like, I know a little bit about him. I know he's like the son of the sun god, and I think is I forgot the mythology. I think it's Indian mythology, I think. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, like, he's the son of the sun god of Indian mythology, which is pretty damn cool. I'm pretty sure, I think that makes him a demigod. I don't think he's a full god, because I know there's something about that, like you can summon gods into the Grail War, etc. But yeah, I think he's a demigod, and his powers are freaking OP as hell, because normally, like, Sabers have an advantage against Lancers, but this guy is able to go toe to toe with pretty much anybody, bro. Like, this guy is awesome. He's definitely top tier. So, and let me warn you guys, this video is gonna be long. It is gonna be long, but it is for my 300 subs, so it's kind of a special video. So, you know, let's just jump right into it, because this is gonna be a long video. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna watch both parts, so let's jump on into it.
2 rulers, 2 assassins, 1 berserker, 1 caster, a trap, and finally we get to one of the lancers. I'm surprised it took this long, actually. Both are pretty badass characters with some rather OP abilities that made for some seriously gorgeous looking fights. But since
For
they weren't
real.
waifu material, or a guy dressed up as waifu material, then I guess they didn't quite ping on your weeboo radars.
I mean,
But after
the
Karna's
best
amazing fight from episode
fights
22,
are the
he
Karna
reached the
fights.
level of badassery that was enough to beat out Atalanta's beast mode noble Phantasm. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a closer look at the Lancer of Red, aka Karna, the son of the Sun God.
Yep.
As always, let's begin by talking about the Lancer class in general, another one of the 3 knight classes representing the heroic spirit of the Lance. They're basically the discount versions of the Saber class, boasting high proficiency in pretty much every area, especially agility, and a significant amount of magic resistance. As you'd expect, their weapon of choice is a spear, lance,
Of
or
course.
pretty much any long-range melee weapon. They put their extreme agility to use by implementing hit and run tactics to get in quick strikes from range, then quickly switching back to the defensive. Other than that, Lancers don't really stand out as being the best or the worst at anything. They're just there to be a
Okay.
formidable opponent. Which might be why both Vlad and Karna managed to stay under the radar for so long in the polls.
But
So
then
let's
again,
take the time to put the
freaking
spotlight
Karna
on
is
Fate
definitely
Apocrypha's
top
Lancer
tier.
of Red right now. The god who has the literal ability to spawn a sun, yet still manages to somehow lose to this. Whatever, I'm over it. Let's just talk about who he was back when he was alive. I'd recommend hunkering down for this one because this might be a long story. As with any person, Karna was brought into this world by his mother. But his mother was married to a king that was cursed to never be able to bear a child. Being a
Okay.
queen, it was her duty to give birth to an heir, so other ways of birthing children were researched. After a bit of time, a sage had given her the ability to have a child gifted to her if she asked. All she had to do was just ask any of the 303 million gods to give her one. Curious as to how her newfound powers worked, she asked the sun god Surya to
I'm
give her a
assuming there are
child.
not that many
So he
gods.
did. He presented
It's
to her
just-
a baby named Karna, who was clothed with golden armor and earrings as proof he was the son of a god.
Oh, that's dope.
And this armor happened to make him invulnerable, but that's not really important right now. The king didn't know of this ability yet, so her having this baby without his knowledge may not have been received very well. So what does any good mother in a legend do to a child when they don't want them? They leave them in a basket
them
by the
away.
river. I don't know what it is, but there's something about rivers and babies that seems to be quite a reoccurring theme in some of these
It's
stories.
like for some reason, like.
But
they just
anyway,
figure,
it was
"Oh,
because
I'ma
of this
leave
that
you
Karna
here.
was raised
You
by a different family
will
of a much
probably
lower
survive.
class.
Hopefully, that's my
He
hope
still
for
knew
you,
that
my
he was the son
child.
of a god and that his mother had abandoned him, but he didn't resent her for it. It was more of a feeling of disappointment that things had to turn out this way. It was also because he wasn't raised by his mother that he wasn't able to learn proper human emotion. He just lived his days observing the motions of the lower class, all while just accepting it. It was through this that he decided to live in a way that honored the people who brought him up and the god that created him. So
Okay.
now we get to a teenage version of Karna, who had been training in martial arts for some time now. During this time, a tournament was being held to display the power of the Pandava brothers, 5 princes born from Karna's same mother, each from a different god. There was
Really?
a moment during this tournament that an opportunity arose for someone from the crowd to present their skills. Karna, of course, rose to this challenge and was able to perform some of the feats better than any of the princes, including the 3rd prince named Arjuna. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, but just bear with me because I have to say his name a lot more. But anyways, he was the son of the thunder god Indra, and at the time, he was considered to be
Wow.
the most skilled archer. Karna proceeded to challenge this prince to a duel, but since they were not of equal status, he was denied and made a fool of for even attempting. Through all this mockery, a prince from a different family saw retribution in Karna and took him in and made him a king at his palace. He saved Karna from the disgrace of being known as someone who doesn't know their place in the world. But being named a king didn't save him from the ridicule because it was later found out that he was raised by a lowly charioteer. The Pandava brothers would not leave that fact alone and would constantly ridicule him and his father for being born of such low status. A rivalry began between the 6 of them, but more importantly, between Karna and Arjuna. Karna belonged to the Kauravas family, a royal family whose influence rivaled that of the currently leading power of the Pandavas. And as the relationships between the Kauravas and the Pandavas grew worse, so did the rivalry between Karna and the brothers. Eventually, a war called the Mahabharata War broke out in a battle to control the other's territory. Now, with Karna leading the army, there was no one other than Arjuna who could possibly stand against him on the battlefield, especially with that armor that made him invincible. But even
For real.
Arjuna knew that trying to fight Karna would lead to certain death. Now, Karna's mother, who was always on the side of the Pandavas, witnessed many of the battles between the two armies. But she knew that no one would be able to stop Karna, so she came up with a plan to reveal Karna's royal lineage to him in hopes that he would switch sides. Karna did not decline the offer, but instead posed a question to his mother that questioned the timing of her revelation. He pretty much said that if she could accept the past without feeling any shame, then he would oblige. But his mother knew she acted for her own sake, and as such, she couldn't accept her actions as reasonable, so left the negotiations without another word. Before she could leave, out of respect for his mother and her actions, Karna mentioned that he would not fight any of his half-brothers on the battlefield other than Arjuna. The many ensuing battles were won by Karna and his armies, and he had plenty of times to kill the Pandavas brothers, but he remained true to his words, allowing them to flee each time and fight another day. As the final battle drew near, the god of thunder took the form of a Hindu priest in order to get close enough to Karna to steal his golden armor. Now remember, this armor made him
these
invincible,
gods are so
losing the ability
petty,
to not die is kind of shitty when you have to go fight a war the next day. Karna, being the badass he is, didn't even care and still set foot in that battlefield, so not to bring shame to his own father. He even went as far as to approach Indra and praise him for being a step ahead and a caring father to his son. Indra, out of admiration and respect for Karna, presented Karna with his spear, a gift that Arjuna wasn't even worthy of, and with that, he proceeded to his final battle with Arjuna. It was a grand battle fought with two chariots that was so intense that even the heavens opened up so that all the gods and deities can witness two of the greatest warriors fight.
Wow.
But during this, Karna's chariot wheel became stuck in the mud due to a curse that he received as a child. Karna requested a pause of the fight since it was proper war etiquette to fight fairly and on even terms. Arjuna was persuaded by Krishna, one of the supreme Hindu gods, to attack Karna while he was defenseless. Karna saw this coming and defended himself and retaliated with an attack of his own that left his opponent unconscious. But instead of killing Arjuna, which was against proper etiquette, he used that time to get his chariot wheel unstuck. As Arjuna recovered from his wounds, he drew his bow once more and decapitated the defenseless Karna. Karna didn't hate his half-brother for this, but instead accepted his death and moved on into the afterlife. Wow. It was after this that he became known as the hero of generosity, for never bearing resentment to anyone and always helping those who relied on him for it, which is a good explanation for Karna's compassion in the later episodes of the series. It sure as hell shocked me when I heard Karna mention that he wanted to save his master. Definitely not something that you'd expect out of someone that's constantly being compared to Gilgamesh. But yeah, that's pretty much Karna's story.
That is true.
Like,
that is
the
true.
very summarized version of it. I had to leave out the parts where he got trained and cursed, and even the parts where he took on a worldwide military campaign and succeeded with conquering the world. But if I did, then I'd have to talk about a whole lot more than just Karna's main story. Like, I'd have to give you a background on different people, a whole lot of Hindu culture, and then that would just be straying away from the purpose of the video. Now, I was gonna cover his abilities and Noble Phantasms too in this episode, but I think I'll do that in the next one, which should be out really soon. I promise it won't be a week later like last time. I'm on break, and I plan on releasing a lot of content before I have to go back to work.
This is
so yeah, I'll be seeing you guys again.
The first
really
video. I'm gonna be watching both of them, and then I'm gonna talk about both of them together. Alright, so this is the second one, so let's go.
I'm back. Bet you didn't think this video would be out this soon, did you? But as I said, I'm on break and plan on releasing a whole lot of content. So let's jump right into this video with Karna's abilities and Noble Phantasms. But first, quick, I forgot to let you guys know last episode that this does cover up to episode 22 in the anime, so if you haven't seen till there, just click off the video. So, unlike Shakespeare who had only one Noble Phantasm and a few skills, Karna is stacked with 4 Noble Phantasms and more skills than I honestly feel like counting.
4 Noble
So let's start with the big guns, his Noble Phantasms, starting with the most obvious
6 or 7 different
his
skills.
golden armor and golden earrings. This is called Kavacha and Kundala, O son, become armor. You already know that this armor was meant to signify his godlike lineage,
which is the armor
but it was his mother
stolen.
who brought it into existence because she had prayed for his son to be born with something that could confirm his heritage, and as such, Karna was born with the armor as part of his body, which you already knew made him invulnerable. Now, if you watched part 1, you know that the god of thunder Indra was able to steal this armor from Karna. But you're probably wondering that if it was part of his body, then how did he even manage to rip it from his skin? Well, for personal circumstances, while Karna was a child and training with the Hindu priests known as Brahmin, he made a promise to himself that he would never deny a Brahmin's request. So when Indra had disguised himself as one, Karna knew that he wasn't actually a Brahmin, but just the fact that he had the appearance of one meant that he had to oblige. You know how these heroic spirits are. Once they make a contract, they'll fulfill it to the best of their abilities. But yeah, Even though Karna knew that it was a trap, he still released the armor from his body and handed it over. Although the armor was lost during his life, he still carries it with him in the Holy Grail War, and it essentially has the same effects as when he was alive, making him damn near invulnerable. It's a defensive type noble phantasm that protects him from pretty much all damage, whether it be physical or conceptual, by reducing the actual damage to around 10% of what it should be.
10%?
If it was to have a weakness, it would be
nothing.
that it doesn't protect the inside of his body. So when Vlad had fought Karna and spawned the spears inside of him, it actually did a fair amount of damage to him. His next noble phantasm goes hand in hand with the armor. It plays off of the part of Karna's story in which he receives Indra's spear. The amount of nobility that Karna demonstrated as he handed over his armor knowing that it was a trap led to Indra feeling that the only right thing to do was to give Karna his spear as compensation. It's known as Vasavi Shakti, O son, abide to death. A spear that was so powerful that it was said to have never been handled properly, not even by the Thunder God himself. The spear and armor tie into the legend that they came from because the spear can only be summoned once Karna permanently strips himself of his armor. So it's gotta be pretty worth it if he's planning on giving up invulnerability to fight with this spear. The power that is normally used in Karna's armor is transferred over to the spear and channeled into one attack only, but my god is it a powerful attack. It's said to have the ability to kill the gods themselves, granting it the title of not only an anti-army but also an anti-divinity noble phantasm, which is understandable considering it was a weapon created and used by a god. I had also mentioned in part 1 that this man can literally spawn a sun, and this is exactly what happens when he unleashes this attack.
That is
it's
crazy.
Almost as if the only way to survive it is to have a lot of plot armor, and a convenient noble phantasm handed over that negates almost every attack.
That is true.
But seriously, that's just me being a little bit salty. This attack is supposed to obliterate beasts, shields, fortresses, and bounded fields alike. But if it wasn't for Achilles' noble phantasm that had unique properties, then that fight would have been over right then and there. I'm pretty sure that the only thing that counters Karna's noble phantasm is Achilles' noble phantasm. So in a way, you could say that Karna is even more OP than Gilgamesh. And it's not like Gilgamesh could even pull out this weapon from his Gate of Babylon, since it technically never existed in the real world. Karna died before he could ever get to use the spear in battle, so any mention of it is just myth. His third is called Brahmastra Kundala, O Brahma, curse me. And it goes hand in hand with his mana burst skill that puts magical energy into his weapons. This magical energy usually takes the form of flames that can spawn inside his body and emit outward and transfer to any weapon that he holds. This noble phantasm increases the range and area that his mana burst skill can affect, as well as provides for a projectile type explosion that is on the same scale as a nuclear bomb.
Colonel Mustang
in order to use it though, Karna would have had to drop his armor and deploy the Vasavi Shakti, so you won't typically see this unless it's in a final fight type situation. Then there's his fourth, called Brahmastra, O Brahma, cover the earth. Karna opens his right eye, calls upon the god Brahma, and emits what's essentially a Cyclops-style laser beam from it. It's a focused version of his mana burst skill where instead of emitting flames from everywhere, it's channeled and projected in a small powerful burst.
Gotcha.
This attack doesn't work when fighting someone who's stronger than him because as he was cursed in his legend to die helplessly against an equal opponent, the same curse limits this attack. But considering that there are a few servants that are actually stronger than him, at least that I know of anyways, then I think he should be fine. Now, what about his other abilities? He has a skill that is directly related to being known as the hero of charity. It's called the Discernment of the Poor, and it lets him determine the true character and motives of other people. So that's an interesting fact to know, considering that this lets him see right through Shiro's lies and deception, and determine what his true plans are. Meaning that if Shiro truly had sinister intentions, then Karna most likely would have done something about it. Simply put though, it's a built-in lie detector, and it comes from his years of observing the people of the lower class that he was brought up with. Yet another example of how the legends mold the servant. Then it's not like Karna needs it, but he also has magic resistance as a standard for any Lancer class. He also has the riding skill, much like many of the other Knight class servants. Then he has what's called uncrowned martial arts, which makes his skill and ability seem weaker than it actually is, unless his true name is determined. I think that's more of a skill for the game, so not really relevant in the anime, considering that he just freely introduces himself as if he cares whether or not people know his true name. The man just wants to throw hands in a fair fight for the ages. Now, all
That's
these skills
freaking
and
dope.
abilities are nice and all, but if his master wasn't Shiro, the amount of magic that would be needed to sustain any type of fight would be monumental. It's mentioned that a top-rate mage wouldn't even be able to keep Karna's basic mana burst skill activated for more than 10 seconds.
Damn.
I'm not entirely sure how viable Karna would be in a normal Holy Grail war, but it's still interesting to consider how each of these servants fit into their role in the show so conveniently. It's like putting together the pieces of a puzzle, because if you bring in someone as OP as Karna, you gotta bring in someone who can support his existence.
Yeah.
And if you don't plan on having him win the war, then you have to bring in someone who can counter him. Anyway, that's Karna's capabilities in a nutshell. We pretty much got to see it all in action in episode 22, so I think if you were to watch that fight over again, things would make a bit more sense.
Yeah.
Since we never really got anything explained to us in terms of Karna's story or strength.
Yo, I remember
But yeah,
like when
I
I
hope
was
you guys
watching
enjoyed
that
this
fight, I was
video,
like,
and
what
if you
is
want to help
going
decide what
on?
cover in the next episode, then go vote on the poll under the community
That's
section.
crazy.
So until next time, ciao.
Alright guys, that is the video. Yo, Karna, man. Karna. This dude is freaking insane, bro. Insane. Like, yo. Like, this dude takes almost no damage. 10%. 10% of any attack. And then, beyond that, let's say, because he does have another set, which is magic resistance. So pretty much, he's can't be harmed by magic at all, because like if the magic attack is already reduced to 10% and then we stack the magic resistance on top of it, that's pretty crazy. Yo, this guy is OP as hell, and his backstory was pretty damn interesting too. Like this guy has so many interactions with like a lot of different gods. Not only his father, like he didn't interact with his father that much, and at least not much that he mentioned. Granted, he did say that there's a lot of stuff that he didn't cover just because he was strayed from the purpose of the video. So that's kind of a shame, but I'm pretty sure you guys will fill me in the comment section. But like, his story is pretty interesting. What I found most surprising was that he had 6 different demigod brothers. That's crazy. I didn't know that. And one of the one that they talked most about, I think it was Arjuna or something along the lines of that. I have seen him before somewhere. I don't know if it was in the game or another video. I'm not sure, but I have seen him somewhere before. So I didn't know that was Karna's brothers, which begs the question. Like, I know they're not as strong as Karna, and this guy Jura was pretty close based on what he said. I don't know anything about him, but I'm curious to know more about the rest of his brothers. And the thing is, I don't know if you could call it lucky or unlucky, but like the fact that Karna was born first was the only reason why he was abandoned, pretty much, because again his mother, she kept asking different gods for sons. So she has like 7 kids, including Karna, and the only reason why she had to give up Karna was because like he was the first one and she didn't tell the king about it. So I'm pretty sure the king was probably pissed. You know how kings were back then, probably threatening to kill her and whatnot. So yeah, like she just threw Karna in the river. And why did they used to do that? Like back in the day, like they used to leave a child like in the woods or the mountains or whatnot, and expect them to survive. Like, dude, at least leave them like in the middle of a crowded street or something. Like, don't leave them in the fuck river, bro. Like, what? Thank God this dude was like a demigod. Like, god damn. Like, people back then, it's like they had no common sense. Like, do you want your child to die? Why would you throw him in the river? That's crazy. I mean, I guess like people back then, I used to go to the river a lot to get water. It's not like now, like we have like water that we can get straight from our house. Like people back then used to actually go to the river to get water and wash clothes and whatnot. So I mean, I guess there was like a chance of him flowing down river that somebody might see him and take him in. But come on, you have a lot of different options. You don't have to leave him in the river in hopes of a chance that somebody else finds him. Like, you could leave him, like, I don't know, like in the middle of the market or something. Like, goddamn. But yeah, like Karna, man, like Karna's pretty freaking epic, bro. His life was pretty cool, and I wish he would have talked more about like the rest of his life, because he did mention some interesting things briefly. Like, he mentioned how Karna once took on a whole battalion by himself. Before I forget, one interesting thing though, Karna fought Arjuna in a chariot, meaning that Karna could possibly be summoned as a rider. Just throwing that out there. But as I was saying, like, there's a lot of stuff that he did in his life that wasn't covered in this video, so that's a shame. But damn, man, freaking Karna, bro. Like, he like, this guy is so OP that he's the one that chose to give his armor away. Like, they couldn't even take it from him. Like, it was a part of his body. They couldn't even steal it. Like, this guy, he was so confident about his power that he just gave it away. Like, granted, it was because of like some contract that he had made beforehand, but come on, like, if he knew that he was being conned, a normal person would be like, oh yeah, that contract doesn't apply. Like, you're not who you say you are. So, but he willingly chose to give the armor away, which, by the way, was the reason why he died. But then again, like, it does show like the amount of power that he has, where he was pretty much able to beat this demigod. I think he didn't make it clear, but it seemed that the way he died was with a cheap shot, because even without his armor, he was still beating this dude. Like, yo, Karna is freaking impressive. He's impressive, goddamn. So let's talk about his abilities now and Noble Phantasms. He has 4 of them, which are freaking epic. All of them. Like, I think this guy can go head to head with Gilgamesh. Like, his spear, like his attack is an anti-divine weapon, which, as we know, Gilgamesh is a demigod. He's half god. But like, so not even that can save him against Karna. And oh my god. And Gilgamesh doesn't have the spear, which is funny. They say that it never existed in the world, but I thought it did. And the only reason why he didn't use it was because he couldn't back when it was alive. But that doesn't mean that the spear didn't exist. But then again, I don't think Gilgamesh would search for an unknown, unnamed weapon. So it's possible for Gilgamesh to have it in his arsenal, but then again, he probably wouldn't have it there just because it was never used to its full potential. So it, like, although Karna had it, the power of the spear was never demonstrated. So he probably didn't search for it. Maybe, I don't know. But there's definitely a possibility that it is in there. But even if it is, I don't think Karna would be like in tune to summoning it, just because he probably doesn't even know what he has in that vault. And with a spear having no name, no fame, probably like, I don't think he'll be like, yeah, have it too, you know? So that's pretty crazy. So if I have to say, can Gilgamesh take on Karna? Can Ea deflect a sun? That is the question here. can Ea deflect the sun? Because as he said, like, in order to use that noble phantasm, the one with the sun, he has to take his armor off. So his how you call this? His invulnerability is no longer in play. So can Ea deflect the sun? That is the question. That is what will determine whether Gilgamesh can take on this guy or not. That being said, just by skills alone, Karna's freaking powerful, man. And I don't think, aside from Ea, that Gil has anything else that can damage Karna. He might, because again, we don't know everything that is in his Gate of Babylon. He might have something. The first thing that comes to mind is Enkidu, because Karna is divine. But even if he manages to bind them with Enkidu, I don't think he can do much damage to him while he's binded. So it's a tough call to make. But I don't know. I will say that Gilgamesh is more versatile with the amount of stuff that he's able to use. But the question is, does he have anything else that can damage Karna? That is the question. And then if he doesn't, would Karna even choose to take off his armor? Now, the only way that I see Karna taking off his armor for Gilgamesh is if Gils brings out Ea. And some way, somehow, Karna sees the power of Ea, because he is able to detect the person's like motives and intentions. So when Gil summons Ea and he sees the intention of Gilgamesh, that Gilgamesh thinks that he's going to destroy him, he could possibly take off his armor to counter Ea. And if that is the case, can Ea destroy a freaking sun? That's the question. That's what I'm debating on. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys, because right now I can't make a decision. I would have to like focus on it a lot. Like I would have to like go back and like read all the skills, everything that Gilgamesh has, and then make a better educated guess. Because right now I don't remember every skill that Gilgamesh possesses, but it is possible. It is possible. He probably could. If I had to say right now, I don't know. I'm probably gonna sound like a Gilgamesh fanboy, but and trust me, that is not the case. I just feel like right now, with what's coming like to the top of my head, I just feel like Gilgamesh, like based on power alone, just based on Ea, right? I still think Gilgamesh could probably take it. But if we have to take into consideration all the other powers that Karna has, like if we've taken into consideration strength, endurance, speed, all of that, I'm pretty sure Karna beats Gilgamesh in a lot of those. But it's tough. It's tough, man. It's tough. I don't know, guys. I'll leave it up to you. Like, I would definitely, like, after this video, go and because I need to figure this out. But I don't know. If the answer is no, Ea cannot deflect the sun, then Karna probably takes it. Definitely. No, like, yeah, like Ea is the most powerful, and if it can't deal with Karna's most powerful attack, then yeah, Karna is definitely gonna win. But like, I haven't seen anything yet that can compare to Aya. So it's tough, man. It's tough. But yeah, goddamn, yo, Karna, bro. I didn't know this guy was so impressive. He was my favorite servant from Apocrypha, as I'm sure is your guys' favorite servant as well. A lot of you guys, because a lot of you have been asking for this video. So man, Karna is powerful. Can he beat Gilgamesh? Right now, I will say no. I will say no, but I am planning to do a video in the future that talks about this. So look forward to that. Maybe it's I'm pretty sure all of you have heard of this video. It's like a 3-hour video where different guys talk about the servants that could beat Gilgamesh. So I'm planning to react to that, and in the future, hopefully, because maybe they changed my mind. As of right now, I'm saying no, just because of Aya. That's the only reason, and that Karna is divine, so he also has Enkidu. But right now I'm saying no, but that is subject to change. So if I watch that video and they do change my mind, then I'll let you guys know in that video. So please stay tuned, subscribe, so you guys will know exactly when I drop those videos. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the 300 subs. Granted, this is a pre-recording, but I am planning on releasing it then. So thank you so much for the 300 subs. I really appreciate it. And tell me, like, I need to know all the stuff that this guy, like, he missed in the video. He did say that he missed a lot of stuff. So if you guys can tell me something more about Karna, and also let me know, because a lot of people do say that this guy can beat Gilgamesh. If you feel like it, let me know why you think that is. Like, exactly, like, go into detail. Let me know, because I'm curious to see, like, your opinions. Because right now, I'm saying Gilgamesh will win, but I'm not 100% on that. I'm not. But maybe if you guys tell me, like, a little bit more on why you think that's not the case, and give me some valid points here and there, then probably I can make a better decision. Because right now, I will say it's not even that big. I would say 60% of the chance of the times Gilgamesh wins. So yeah, so we did already determine that this guy is powerful, but there's like one more thing that we have to talk about, and is how useful, right? How useful is this guy as an actual servant? Like, if some regular servant were to if some regular master were to summon this guy, how good would he be in a Grey War? And I think that's where Gilgamesh takes the edge, because of one simple skill, that if Karna had, it will completely change the game on him being a servant. And that skill is independent action. Independent action is the key skill for this powerful ass servants, because like no master has the mana capability of sustaining these types of servants. And I think the only way that Gil is able to do this, is able to be so good as a servant, is because he has this skill as an archer, and it allows them to pretty much rely on their own mana for attacks and sustain themselves a lot better without taking that much mana from the masters. So if a regular guy or a regular master or a regular mage were to summon somebody like Karna, it would be the same thing that happened to Saber in the first day night when Shiro originally summoned her, which is like she was severely handicapped. All her skill took a dive. The handicap was incredible, like, and that's something that would happen to Karna. Like, it's said that a regular master couldn't be able to maintain Karna's mana burst, not even for like, I think he said like 10 minutes or something. Like, it's like, oh my god, like, it's a shame because he's so powerful, but really in a regular Grail War with a regular master, not that useful. Not because of his own fault, but because of the master's fault. He wouldn't be not nearly as powerful, nowhere near close. And we have to take into account how that would affect his other skills that make him so powerful, like his invulnerability, and especially his invulnerability. Would that take a dive as well? Would the damage that he takes be increased if he doesn't have a decent enough master? So that's something that really handicaps Karna to being one of the better servants. So let's say in my case, if I was a master, right, even if Karna is more powerful than Gilgamesh, I still would prefer to get Gilgamesh than Karna. Hell, I would prefer to get Emiya than Karna, because what's the point of having this powerful ass servant if I can bring out his full potential and I'm actually making him weaker, a lot weaker than most of the other servants out there? Like, I can't maintain this guy. Like, there's no point of me bringing out such a strong ass servant, you know? So I would honestly I would prefer to get like a servant somewhere like Emiya or Lancer, a servant that I can fully give mana to, so they can fight at their full strength, and not some servant that is going to be handicapped severely. Because most of these skills, if they're not used at their full potential, they pretty much wouldn't be worth having, you know? Like, his mana burst, if he can't use it at his full potential, I mean, it will still be pretty strong. But as a Lancer, could he really take on somebody like Arthur? Could he? Or even Siegfried? Could he even take on somebody like Siegfried if his mana burst and him being a Lancer is not at his full power? So some skills, and because of his class, do need to be at their top tier to be useful, you know? So that's something to think of. That's definitely something to think about. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because I could be wrong. I could be wrong on what I'm saying. Would you guys still prefer to have Karna as your servant, even if he's gonna be severely handicapped? And when I mean severely handicapped, think of how handicapped Saber was with Shiro. Think about that. Would you prefer to still have somebody like Karna, or would you prefer to have a servant that you can fully utilize and have them fight at their full potential? Me personally, I would prefer to have somebody like Emiya or Lancer, not even Gilgamesh. Yes, definitely I would prefer Gilgamesh, but even if I don't get Gilgamesh, I would definitely prefer somebody like Emiya, somebody like Lancer. And when I say Lancer, I mean Ku Colin. Somebody that I can fully give mana and have them fight at their full potential. Because remember, even somebody like Heracles will be out of reach for most masters, right? Because again, the only reason why Heracles, and when I say Heracles, I mean Berserker Heracles, was so powerful was because Ilya had infinite mana. So even somebody like Heracles, I wouldn't like to have him, just because he wouldn't be able to fight at full potential with somebody like, let's say, me or any of you guys, or anybody that's not Ilya as a master, you know? So there you go, guys. Like, that's my opinion on Karna. tell me, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you think Gilgamesh can beat him, and if you do say, let me know how. Also, let me know how useful you think Karna will be as a servant, with taking in mind that if he is summoned by a regular master, he will be severely handicapped. Let me know about that in the comment section below. Will you think it will still be worth it to have somebody like Karna, even if he's gonna be severely handicapped? And that's pretty much it, guys. This was an awesome video. It was a long video. So if you made it to the end, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And it is the 300 sub special, so it should be long. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I really hope to make a lot more videos for you guys, so please keep subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. And have an awesome day, and catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for the 300.